So this time, it's men with microphones, speaking of things that they do not understand.
The problem that we have is the extraordinary level of judgment and guilt and mental health issues that causes to women who cannot breastfeed.
Exactly. It's very black and white thinking.
Optimization feels like fucking bullshit speak for rage bait.
There's a reason why there's nipple cream, right?
Right. It is fucking brutal.
Men and microphones. That's a real problem.
Welcome back to the Fck It Files, where we shed light on what women are fucking off all over the world. So this time, it's men with microphones, speaking of things that they do not understand. Enter, if you will, Stephen Bartlett.
Of course.
Diary of a CEO. We completely recognize his team's genius in production and social content, right? Absolutely. Right. But do women also want him to stop spreading misinformation about health? Absolutely. Interestingly enough, this has actually gone off on LinkedIn, among all places. So what happened? There's been a recent clip of Stephen Bartlett on Diary of a CEO talking to a gut health expert. And basically what they're saying is you need to stop bottle feeding your babies. Neither of them has breastfed a child, I hope.
Is that because, let me guess, the gut health expert is also a man?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, of course.
He absolutely is.
Best qualified, I think.
So neither of them have tried to breastfeed a child, I fucking hope. And here they are with a ring light and an opinion. So the actual clip and kind of thumbnail copy over that was captioned, "Stop bottle feeding your children." And it's racked up massive amounts of likes, massive amounts of comments, and loads of shares from different people across LinkedIn. So we know that Stephen has basically built an empire out of optimization. But really what happens when your microbiome is out of whack? Because that's what they're arguing here. They're saying if you've not breastfed your children, they're more likely to have, issues with their microbiome. Genuinely, I don't know what the worst case scenario is in terms of what happens there. And science actually does support that breastfeeding is beneficial, but it also consistently points to the same solution that women have been asking for all along: paid maternity leave, support, healthcare system investment, not a viral TikTok telling mothers to just try harder. They're kind of missing the point here. And the research literally says that there is a gap between intention and outcome in terms of this kind of systemic issue.
I've already lost my shit when you said that two dudes on a podcast were debating.
And there's so many different things to talk about. So, like, factually speaking, we do know that, and there's a reason it's the slogan, breast is best. Like, factually, it is. However,
there's a slogan called breast is best.
Yeah.
Massive fucking caveats to that.
Yeah.
There's so much else around breastfeeding than that, which they're not talking about in that context. And all of that is expectation and weight on women, additional weight on women, when already you're in an incredibly huge moment of transition in your life. So much judgment around it. And I think the reason that I have seen in the feedback and the comments that women are so frustrated is it's two men telling us things we already fucking know. It's not like, oh, this is, well, fuck
this
me, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, cool. So we literally have things literally on our bodies that will do that job. Cool, we didn't know that. Like, no shit.
No idea what these things were for.
What the
fuck?
fuck?
Just taking a wild guess.
Yeah. Do you know, and that's the thing where it's so frustrating. It's like, actually understand the context in which you're operating before you say it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to actually read out some of the comments that these posts are getting because they kind of take it from different angles. This one is actually just hilarious, though. Wait until he finds out you can put breast milk in a bottle.
I know.
They really fucked up the caption there.
Yeah.
Love when guys who never breastfed are top experts on the matter. Seriously, the decision of bottle feeding is never as easy as you think it is. Many tears and hard moments, but imagine that not every mother can do it. We have a cute image of a lovely scene in our minds, but that's not really what it looks like. So that's very much supporting your point, Jen. We know that it's best, but it's not an option for many women for a myriad of reasons.
And I think there's so much judgment inherent in that. Look, from my personal experience, I spent more time in hospital with mastitis after Rosie, my daughter, than I did after having her and having an emergency cesarean. Like, breastfeeding is absolutely sold as one of those things that you will have a child, you will breastfeed them, it will be lovely, and there will be a blanket around you, and it's probably a rocking chair. And
there's a reason why there's nipple cream, right?
Right. And it is fucking brutal. And I think like it's so interesting, you know, what you go into birth, understanding that the act of giving birth isn't going to be like a walk in the park, but nobody or very few people are talking about the reality of breastfeeding. And I think that conversations like that in this context, do we know that he's partially rage baiting for the algo? Yes, of course we do. But
partially.
Well, or entirely.
That's the thing that fucks me off the most, because you're using this headline as rage bait.
I'm not entirely sure whether he's actually rage baiting, because if you look at the guy, everything, I mean, this episode is a little bit older, I think. It's only now bubbled up again. He's done plenty of things that all just in the context of optimization, right? He's been talking about things like he had one glass of red wine or two glasses of red wine and ruined his life and all of this sort of stuff. He's like the branch of all of the hacks and the things that you shouldn't be doing. So at some stage he arrived at optimizing your...
I don't know. I'm going to say in this context, optimization feels like fucking bullshit speak for rage bait. Like at some point, his team are extraordinary. Like,
yeah, but he's gotten to the point where he's now... I actually don't know if he cares.
No, I don't think he cares at all.
This is just ignorant, kind of like, I'm putting this person on because I need yet another topic that I need to use to talk about optimization. You know, it's not that he's talking about the biggest problems in the world right now that would be affecting humanity. It's just more like, this is the thing.
The thing where I
put someone on that I like, that, you know.
The thing where I think it actually becomes dangerous, though, is we can have all the conversations we like about, you know, two men having this conversation and whether or not that's appropriate. Fine. This is an expert in gut health microbiome. He's saying something which is factually correct. So I'm not going to disagree with that. The problem that we have is the extraordinary level of judgment and guilt and mental health issues that causes to women who cannot breastfeed.
Exactly. It's very black and white thinking. And that message, stop bottle feeding your child.
Yeah. It's a very flippant way to
How do you weigh up, okay, optimization versus the impact that's having on other people's mental health? Like, what is the point of optimization when everybody's miserable?
Yeah. It's not it's being treated in a very flippant way, and it's a very complex and nuanced conversation.
I mean, him and Chris Williamson and all of these guys, they're all treating these conversations exactly the same way. It's a I'm just putting someone on. It's like I'm having a conversation with someone that, you know, I'm not necessarily an expert on, and now I'm just going for the attention grabbing headlines, and what the fallout from that is, I don't really care, you know, because it's usually the current, it's very du jour at the moment, you know, that women are the problem. Didn't they just do something around was it the birth rate is a really big topic this week too?
And whether or not they should
we're all like, you know,
taking action.
There
should be legislation in place to stop women being such a fucking pain in the ass.
So it's like Stephen Bartlett, isn't he engaged?
He is now, yes.
I don't know, man, and he hasn't had a kid yet, so... I really hope
I can't wait to see how optimal his lifestyle is when he does.
I reckon, but I think that might be all part of the plan, so that he can have a big about face after he's had the child, and then go for the
I was wrong.
The awakening moment. Yeah. It's all part of his carefully planned narrative arc.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that this is a problem, but I feel like men and microphones, that's a real problem. That's the bigger hierarchy issue. That's the issue, really.
There's one comment that raised a really good point, and it's around this being more of a systemic issue. So she said, this message isn't to shame formula feeding mums, although I know that's real and exists, but we do need to be supporting breastfeeding by giving women maternity leave, funding lactation consultants. Healthcare providers need to be reminded how important protecting the breastfeeding relationship is. I don't have a child, but from what I understand, you're kind of discharged from the hospital in 24 hours and
and then
patted on the back and good luck.
I think, look, in Australia there are lactation consultants, and they do come around to your house, so that's that's pretty amazing. Yeah. But particularly given you said a lot of the commentaries on LinkedIn, I think what's very interesting and what chimes in with our conversation is, you know, around that return to work and what that looks like. And, you know, just for shits and giggles, try imagining sitting in your toilet at work, like pumping breast milk out. And I mean, where I worked when I had my second child, we had a milk room. We had a room which they set aside, which you could go and sit in and do that. And it was really thought through and very careful. But I am wildly aware that that is the exception.
It is an exception. Like even, I mean, we've never, you know, we've had mothers return to work and it was only really a recent conversation where I was like, oh shit, we actually haven't thought about it. And we have to think about it. And I've seen girlfriends really struggle with breastfeeding their babies and like really trying with consultants and everything else and struggling, and then the pain and like, you know, your boobs being ginormous and swelling and all of that is like,
and I think to bring it back again to that simplicity of like, stop doing it. Like we're all having these...
stop doing it, please.
Nobody walks casually into making that choice.
I would have loved for them to put on like maybe like a nurse or a breastfeeding specialist to the podcast.
Don't know if they were brave enough. An opinion.
No, probably not. I love that this is blowing up on LinkedIn though.
Yeah.
Of all of the places.
Well, I think that's why, because it does come back to coming back to work and what environment is really set up for you.
Just bring your baby in and say, Stephen Bartlett said.
Yeah. Oh my God. Sit at your desk. Sorry.
I must do this.
Stephen Bartlett said this is how it's done. Yeah. So off I go.
See, we solved it. Easy.
And that's the Fuck It Files for this week, my friends. Shedding light on what women are fucking off all over the world.
Hey loves, the good news is that you can share your own items for submission onto the Fck It List. So drop them into our socials or email us at hello@fckitlist.com.au.